We're gonna go into the big one now. This is
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I fucking hate my life. I
What
fucking hate my life. Here we
is
go.
hilarious is that if I had a few people at work, because they're real huge fans of this band, huge fans of this band.
So we've decided that we're going to review Hysteria by Def Leppard. I don't know why. I freaking hate this band. Full disclosure, Def Leppard is. I hate this band. This is the number one on my list of most hated bands of all time.
Wow.
It's
You
number one.
hate them, eh?
I hate
Hmm.
this band.
Okay.
Eric, I'll get your opinion first because I have very strong opinions about this. But to give everyone sort of a preamble about this one, I'll do a quick
Yeah.
history on this one. So Hysteria is the fourth studio album by English hard rock band Def Leppard, released on August 3rd, 1987, through Mercury Records. It sells over 25 million copies worldwide, including 12 million in the US. Produced by Mutt Lange, who's a douchebag. It took 3 years to create. This it took 3 years to create. Delays including Rick Allen, the drummer. He had a car accident that cost him his left arm. Mutt Lange actually quitting after pre-production due to exhaustion. They brought in Jim Steinman, who is famous for being the songwriter for Meatloaf. He was brought in to replace Mutt Lange, but hated the record because of the pristine pop production on it. He wanted a more raw sound, so he quit
But
or he got fired.
before you continue, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
That guy's a good songwriter,
Yeah, he's legit.
right?
Like,
For Meatloaf.
yeah, Bad Out of Hell. That Bad Out of Hell is a freaking masterpiece.
And for him to come in and say that, that's gotta say something.
I mean, yeah, Jim Steinman is known to be like, Meatloaf is one of the poppiest rock singers you could ever find. And
Yeah.
Jim Steinman comes in and says, this is too pop.
Like, I feel like that's such a dick move. Like, you're just pretty much getting, like, it's like, I don't know how to. It's like playing soccer, right? You're starting a soccer team for your friends at work, and you're like, hey, let's convince Cristiano Ronaldo to come out here, and he's gonna be our team captain, and then he's gonna show up thinking that he's there for some big thing, and he'd be like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's what I feel like happened there.
Yeah.
What you just explained.
Yeah. So yeah, Jim Steinman. It's not official what happened. He was either fired or he quit. It's probably mutual at the end of the day because he just hated the record. After that, the entire album was scrapped to re-record everything because they were not happy with it. Mutt Lange comes back. However, he gets into an auto accident himself, sustaining leg injuries. And then Joe Elliott, the singer, gets mumps.
This album is definitely cursed then.
The album was so expensive to make that they needed to sell 5 million copies to break even.
Wow.
5 million. So if they sold the record for $30, because back then that's how much a record cost, that's $150 million they would have to make on this album.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That is nuts.
It currently sits as the 51st best-selling album of all time in the U.S. It spent 96 weeks in the U.S. top 40, which is on par with Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, which in my opinion is a much superior record than this. And a few tidbits about this album. All the drum sounds, as much as we'd like to say, oh, Rick Allen is so brave, he lost his arm and he can play drums again on this album. Actually, he didn't contribute any drums on this album because they were all samples recorded by Mutt Lange and the engineers, and they basically just filtered it through a drum machine.
Wow.
So
Okay, well,
that's the preamble for this album.
so that puts I didn't know all this, and that puts the whole album, my listening experience, in perspective.
So Eric, your opinion on this record?
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna say some controversial things
It's
too.
fine. We need to get it all out.
So I guess I should start by saying, like, I know who Def Leppard is. I've listened to their stuff, but I've only listened to songs here and there. I've never actually sat down and listened to a Def Leppard album front to back. Now, doing that with this one, like Pour Some Sugar on Me, I know the song, I enjoy it. But listening to this album was very exhausting, I found. I don't know about you, but I felt like the songs were dragged out to the point where it's like, okay, like it's just I'm starting to lose like focus on like, if you know what I mean. Which shouldn't really happen with a band in this, like, because they're like what, hair metal, you would
Yes.
consider them kind of in that genre, and
Yeah.
I don't mind some hair metal bands, right? But I feel like this album was just, and it makes sense because look at all the shit that they had to go through to make this thing. No wonder it sounds exhausting. Like,
So
cause I'm pretty sure that the musicians, like some of the band members are like, holy fuck, okay, this is it. I don't care. I'm just gonna take the take of the song and that's it. Done.
yeah.
Right?
So the idea for this album, or I guess the mindset they went in with, and this is largely attributed to Mutt Lange, they wanted to make the rock version of Thriller, in the sense that every song needs to be a hit single.
Yeah, that I didn't get that. I didn't get that. Like I get his vision, but I mean like there were some cool riffs, cool cool stuff on the songs, but I felt like I was listening to the song, I'm like, yeah, this is a good tune, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, like I'm getting tired of this tune now.
Hmm.
Like I felt like it was like, all right, I'm with you, and it's like, oh, it's like, okay, this is like it was monotone. It was monotone hair metal.
Yes.
That's what this is, the AC/DC of hair metal bands. And I love AC/DC, don't get me wrong. I love AC/DC, but they're simple rock. This
Hmm.
is simple hair metal.
Yeah, except ACDC has like Highway to Hell and Back in
Yeah.
Black, which do not drag. Which, funnily
No.
enough, Mutt Lange is also the producer for those records.
But I feel like when you're categorized as a hair metal band, you're kind of expected to have a certain level of skill.
Yes. I don't know why, but hair metal like musicians are just like top of the game. I don't know
Hmm.
why they have like guitar shredders in the band. They have like bass players that finger tap. They have drummers
Yeah.
that just go lightning speed and singers that can sing like 3 octaves up. It's insane. And you're playing like these pop nonsense songs.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
Yeah. I thought the if I had to rate it at a 10, I would have given it a 6.
Okay.
I would have given it a 6. Like, because some of the songs I like on the album, but I didn't like, I would never want to be like, hey, if someone said, hey, Def Leppard Hysteria album, greatest album ever, like I don't even think it should rank on a top 50 or a top 100
Yeah.
albums of all time. I don't think that it
Well,
classifies as
Eric, it sold 25 million copies worldwide. So that's something, I guess. Yeah, so here- the reason why I wanted to actually listen to or review this album, because I wanted to force myself to listen to it, because I've always said that like Def Leppard is the worst band ever. They are complete garbage, blah 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 blah. But I've never actually sat down and listened to Def Leppard. Like, honestly, I've never like given them a chance. So this was my way of like, okay, I'm gonna force myself to actually listen to this, because Def Leppard to me, here's my problem with Def Leppard, right? Def Leppard, when they first came out, was considered new wave of British heavy metal. That was the genre that they came out of, or like the
Hmm.
region and the time and everything. So you're pairing Def Leppard with bands like Iron Maiden, Motorhead, Saxon, Raven, like Motorhead
Hmm.
and Iron Maiden and Def Leppard. One of those bands don't like doesn't
Yeah, one of these
belong.
aren't like the other.
Right? And they're classified as new wave of British heavy metal because they're from Britain and they're part of that sort of crew. The thing is, Def Leppard was never popular in Britain. They hated them in Britain. In their
Mhm.
homeland, they couldn't get any success. So that's why they came over to America, and Americans were just like, "Oh wow, this is amazing. This is such good
Yeah.
heavy metal." You know why? Because Americans didn't know what heavy metal was at the time, right?
Yeah.
The Europeans had Sabbath, they had Maiden, they had Motorhead, they had proper metal. But what did America have? It's probably another 10 years before Van Halen shows up.
Yeah.
So like that's how Def Leppard honestly got famous because there was no proper metal in America and they capitalized on that.
Yeah.
So I went into this album. I know there's some bias in there, but I went in there trying to actually listen to this album. And I listened to this album front to back a total of one time because I could not bring myself to do it again. It was such a painful experience.
Oh, I listened to it once at the gym, and I know because I did that with Kenny G, and that was a bad mistake. That was an awful mistake. But this one I felt like, okay, well, poor if Def Leppard's like a hair metal band, it's gotta like at least pump you up. But I found myself just getting bored,
Yeah.
just getting really, really bored, and the songs were just so monotone. It was kind of like listening to the One Note Song by Tenacious D. It's just Jack Black singing in one note. And then one of the lyrics in the song is, I just keep fucking singing. I just keep fucking singing in the same note. That's what I feel like this album had. Like there were some interesting parts to the songs, but again, I feel like I wouldn't even classify them as hair metal.
They still belong in hair metal, to be honest. I mean, they're not from the Sunset Strip in LA, but their sound it is hair metal for the most part. They come from the new wave of British heavy metal scene, but sonically they are borderline hard rock, borderline hair metal.
See, I just feel like they were just like, so because they always have that airy kind of like very reverb, like
Yeah.
big stadium
Mm-hmm.
kind of recording to most of these bands.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of, you can hear that echo, that just big echo. But I feel like these guys were just so amateurs, and they're like, okay, how are we going to do this? We've lost so much money. Let's go to our old high school and record this album in our gym. Right? And they're like, okay, well, our drummer can't play, so you kid that's good within the tech club at school, we need you to record this and play it on a drum machine, right? I felt like when you explain the history, everything makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Why this album is the way it is.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I, I, for me, I just don't understand why this became so popular. Because even like all these things that they did, so whatever Mutt Lange did on this record, whether it be the snare sound or just the drum sounds in general, he carries that over to all his future projects in the future. So you're talking about like all of Shania Twain's records. So what's that record? Come on over, right?
Yeah.
That is the like 8th best-selling album in the U.S. ever, right?
Yeah.
All the techniques from Hysteria that Mutt Lange used are on that record. So there is something to it. It just, for me, it's just like super grating. That super compressed sound. It's a wall of sound for sure. There's multiple guitar layers in there, but they sound so synthetic. They're just like
Yeah.
compressed and crushed down. and the drums, like that snare sound is so grating to me. It's clearly an acoustic drum, but it sounds like an electric drum to me.
Yeah.
It's got like
No,
this
you're
like lightning bolt strike.
you're
on it.
totally right.
So
Like I could tell by listening to it that the album sounded very forced. They were trying to force it to be something that it just wasn't going to happen, right? Like why are you getting such a big songwriter? Like I don't know what album this is in their discography. Like if this is number fourth album.
Yeah.
So like you're starting to play the ropes, but I feel like, you know, why are you getting such a big songwriter to come out and be like, hey, we need you to make this a crazy album? Like no wonder he left. He's like, fuck, this is terrible. Right? Like you can't just force it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you have to, take time and go back to the drawing board. But
they already did that once.
Yeah.
They deleted the whole album and redid it.
Who knows? Maybe the original sounded way better.
Probably. I don't know. I think it's just the right record at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, Pour Some Sugar on Me, that's a classic song. For me, as much as I hate Def Leppard and I hate the sound of it, like Pour Some Sugar on Me, for whatever reason, the melody, everything comes together perfectly on that one. Oh, yeah. Helena, you're in chat. Oh, thanks for the cheers. We're just talking about music, and we're shitting on Def Leppard right now.
Yeah, pretty hard actually.
Yeah. If you want to join,
I feel like my
disagree.
spectrum from 6 is going down to a 5, maybe borderline 4.5.
Oh, you're lowering your score
after
now?
Yeah, after talking about it. Yeah.
So like. I freaking hate Def Leppard. The sound of this record is not good. But, I mean, what do we know? This thing sold 25 million copies, right? For whatever reason.
But I feel like the people... Like, it's like those people who say, like, you know, you find a good artist, right? Like, you find a good artist in a category, right? Like, for instance, country music, right? And you're just like, oh, like, I love like, Chris Stapleton or something like that, right? And then you're just like, oh yeah, like I love it a lot. Like Chris Stapleton's amazing, like best country album ever, right? I feel like these are the same people saying this about this. They're like, they don't listen to hair metal, they listen to other things, probably pop music, and they're like, wow, Def Leppard's amazing, like they're crazy, right? Because
band.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it's so insane. But then if you talk to people in the genre of heavy metal, I feel like they're going to be like, there's better options out there than Def Leppard. Like, I feel like they're those people who don't actually actively listen to hair metal that's why it probably made, you know, big in the States, because it does have a poppy feel to their songs. So I feel like they're like, yeah, like, oh, Def Leppard, amazing. But it's like, oh, who else do you listen to? Oh, like Madonna and like all these other, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, final rating for me. The biased version will give this a negative 100 out of 100. That's my score for this album.
Negative 100 out of 100.
That's my bias score. But an honest score on this one, I would give this like a 2 out of 10. And that 2 is purely just for Pour Some Sugar on Me, because it's an actual good song.
Negative 100 out of 100. That is amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing.
And Eric, did you decide on whether it's going down to a 4?
I'm going to say 4.5.
4.5. Okay.
4.5 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. I can't honestly just go listen to Folklore by Taylor Swift. It is like infinitely better than this record. Infinitely.
Yeah, we're slowly transitioning to the Taylor Swift podcast.
Okay, so enough of this. How long have we been going? Whoa, an hour and 15. Okay. Well, we only have one more segment to do, which is we won't do a hypothetical this time, but
Okay,
we
fair
are
enough.
going to our Anthony Kiedis quote
Yes. Oh, here we
quote of
go.
the week presented by Anthony Kiedis. So here are his lyrics for this week, Eric. I'm a lowbrow, but I rock a little know-how. No time for the piggies on the Hooskow. Get smart, get down with the powwow. Never been a better time than right now.
Give it away.
Oh my god, how did you get that?
Oh, I'm a huge Chili Pepper fan, man.
How did you get that? These are nonsense.
Give it, because after he says right now, give it away, give it away, give it away
All
now.
right, Eric. Since you guessed what song this was, uh, what what do you think this is? What do you think he's talking about?
Okay, so the lyrics that are on the screen, I know what the song is about. It's supposed to be giving away your virginity,
Okay, I would have never guessed.
right?
Honestly, would have never guessed.
Now I just know this because I read the book Scar Tissue. So I'm a lowbrow, but I rock a little know-how. So I feel like I'm not experienced, but I know what I'm doing. No time for the piggies or the hooskow. I have no idea what the hell that means. Get smart, get down with the powwow. Never been a better time than right now. So I guess it's just like, hey, girl, I know you got, you still have your virginity, but it's never a better time than right now. Like, I feel like that's what he's saying. Now,
Certainly.
I have no idea what piggies or the hooskow mean. I have no idea what that means.
Taylor and chat. I think the word "powa" has been canceled. Actually, Anthony Kiedis is partially Native American, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think he is.
So I think he has free range to use that at his discretion. But I'm a lowbrow, but I rock a little know-how. So he's lower class, or like he likes fart jokes, but he knows he's smart. He likes fart jokes, but he's somewhat smart. Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
got from that line. No time for the piggies or the hooskow. No time for the piggies or the who's. I don't know what that means. Get smart, get down with the powwow. Okay, so get smart, get down with the powwow. So I guess he's trying to embrace his Native American culture, and then
Mhm.
never been a better time than right now.
Oh, here we go. Hooskow is prison, which makes pig.
Oh, pigs as in cops. No
Ah,
time for the
gotcha.
cops or prison. I still don't know how that relates to powwow.
Yeah.
It is nonsense. Thanks, Orlando, for the Google assistance there. It still makes no sense to me.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
This is
It
nonsense.
doesn't at all.
All right. Well, anyways, that's one of life's great mysteries by Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah.
One day the truth will be revealed to us.
Yeah. I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Love them. I love their music, but I have no idea what most of his songs are about. No idea. No idea.
Man. Okay, cool. Well, we're done with that. Oh, we're not doing album analysis. We are doing what? The closer, basically?
Closer,
Oh,
yeah.
shoot. We have one controversial statement this week where
Yeah.
Eric decided to say that Steve Vai is overrated.
I feel like I've been contributing to the controversial count lately.
I mean, I said a bunch of controversial things about Def Leppard, but in my mind, those are completely
It's not
legitimate. Yeah,
controversial.
they're completely
It's fact.
legitimate criticisms. They're all objective facts.
Oh,
Yeah, Steve Vai fans can be obnoxious. That is
yes,
also
I
true.
I agree with that 100%.
Oh my Lord.
Steve Vai. Steve Vai's the greatest.
Yeah.
Did you know he plays with these type of pickups? I don't care. Guess what? I don't give a shit. Yeah, I got my guitar changed with those exact pickups so I can be like Steve Vai. Well, you'll never be like Steve Vai.
I know.
Like,
It doesn't matter how much equipment you have. You will never be as dexterous as Steve Vai.
no, you need years of training. You need to just forget everything you do in life and just play guitar 24/7.
Yeah. Then you'll be Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we had a good discussion today. Basically, rest in peace, Peter Green. Go listen to Folklore by Taylor Swift because it is definitely, I'm making the statement that it is best album of 2020, hands down.
Best album, ladies and gentlemen.
Def Leppard is still a piece of garbage band. Nothing's going to change my mind about that. Yeah, and Anthony Kiedis, just mystery. Complete.
Yeah, nobody knows what the hell he's saying.
Complete mystery.
Good music, but nobody knows what he's saying.
All right, cool. Yeah, just to do some housekeeping since we're done now. We're going to have a new stream schedule coming up for Taylor. So keep an eye on this channel. She will still continue streaming on Sundays, but it'll be at a later time. I think 8 p.m. EST is what we sort of settle on, maybe 7:30 EST. Still finalizing that. And then we're gonna look to add one more stream for Taylor, probably Tuesday, but not this coming Tuesday. This is all starting in August. But our podcast, we're gonna stay on Monday as long as we can. Eric, I think we're going on Mondays for the next few weeks, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna stick with the regular scheduled broadcast every Monday, 10 o'clock EST, 10 p.m. EST.
7 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Pacific Standard Time, if you are from the Pacific West.
I have to remember to do those.
That's okay.
And Helena, I have no idea what that time conversion is in Hawaii time. So.
Oh, that's like
4 p.m. There you
4
go.
4 p.m. Sweet. There you go. Nice. Wow, you're pretty quick.
Okay, cool. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. We will catch you all next week, where we're going to keep rambling about garbage music and reviewing. Actually, next week's album is a good one because last week we did Kenny G, which was garbage. This week we did Def Leppard. Next week is an actual legitimate, like actual music. We're gonna.
I can't remember what it was. So I'll have to look at the list.
This one's an actual good one. So no more garbage music for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Only
cool.
premium content from here on out.
All right, cool. Thanks everyone, and we'll catch you all next time.
All right. Peace.